What time is it? Podcast time. It's a celebration. What time is it? Podcast time. So usually when I have guest speakers on, I usually record the episode with the guest speaker and then record my little intro and outro. But today I wanted to do the intro before I have the conversation because this is a big one for me. This is really, really exciting. So for those who have been around a long, long time, which actually this probably happened before I even had an Instagram, but my oldest daughter is 22. When she was in 4th grade, her best friend, Jadyn, was in a horrible, accident in a school van. She was driving home with her sister in a school van and there was an accident. And this changed sort of the trajectory of her life, of course, but also my life, my daughter's life. It happened when I had just found running. So she became my inspiration to keep showing up, to keep challenging myself, to keep doing hard things, because I was watching her in real time overcome these things that a child should never have to overcome. And I'm so fucking excited. She's coming on the podcast today. I just reconnected with her at her little sister's high school graduation party, and I just reached out to her the other night and I was like, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? She's an adult now. She's 22 as well. And I'm just so excited to talk with her and have you hear her story. And even like, I've never really talked to her about her story. Like, sure, like I've seen her, we've had conversations, but never sort of like this. So I'm really excited for this. And just to, I always say when people come on the podcast, I'm like, it's just like having lunch together. We get to sort of just talk and touch base and catch up. And I'm just really excited for this one. So Jadyn, without further ado, let's go. I haven't even heard it yet because it hasn't even happened yet, but I know it's going to be good because this little girl means so much to me and her family does. And I'm just really excited for her to be here. So let's do it. Welcome to the It's Your Effin' Journey podcast, Jadyn. Oh my God, I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to be here.
Oh my God. So I think you're the youngest person I've ever had on the podcast, which is really exciting.
That's so
because
fun.
because I love the stage of life that you're in right now, because you're figuring it out, right? You're figuring out your journey.
I have no idea what's going on.
And like, you shouldn't, right? I think sometimes there's like this immense pressure to know what you want to do or what you're going to do, and you're in it.
Yeah, I left college with a plan, and then I didn't like that plan anymore, so I ditched it.
I love it. So you just graduated in May. Oh, no, December.
Yeah, so I graduated in December, but I stayed in Alabama until May because why would I move home but still pay a lease? And I had a job at school, so I just stayed until the school year was over.
And now you're home in North Carolina.
I am home in North Carolina, yes.
So what was your plan when you, what was your major?
So I majored in sport management with a minor in hospitality, and that is so broad. You can go in so many different directions with that. A lot of people in my major went to law school to become sports agents. So that's one way it can go. You can go and go into managing, coaching, that kind of thing, or you can do something as simple as tickets, sales, or not that that's simple, but it's not the coaching and stuff. You can go into athletic training, event coordination, which is what I wanted to do, and things like that. So in January and kind of through February and March, I was applying for a ton of jobs for professional teams, hoping that I would get something, even if it was not a big role for whatever team was going to take me. And that didn't work out, especially because January, February, March is mid-season for a lot of professional sports. So I didn't really hear anything back. I got rejected by a couple and then ghosted by a lot more, which I feel is a big issue these days when trying to find a job. The communication is not the best, but I have no say in it. Yeah, I have no say in it, so I mean, all I do is complain. But So when I didn't hear back, I was like, you know what? I had interest in the Disney College program when I first started college. And so the way that goes, if you do it while you're in college, you take a semester out of your college. You go to Orlando, you work in Disney World, and you take classes while you're there. But then you would have to make up that semester that you missed at your college. So I then learned that you can apply for the Disney College program up to 20, no, not 24. Yes, 24 months, 2 years after you graduate. So I was like, you know what, let me apply and just see what happens. And then the day after my birthday, I found out I got it. So I was in Nashville because the Bruins were playing in Nashville, and that was like my birthday present. So I was literally at a Bruins game when I got the email saying I got accepted into the Disney College program. And so I was starting August 31st and was going to be there until mid-January. And I didn't know my position. I didn't know who I was staying with, because you have four roommates in total, so 3. I would have 3 random people that I'm living with, and so I knew nothing. I just knew that I got in, that was it. And so once I got home and realized, what was actually behind the Disney College program, I was like, I'm gonna hate it. And like, don't get me wrong, I love Disney, but like, I want to like shit on children, because children are children. I've never been a children person, okay? And so I'm telling myself, like, why would I want to work somewhere where I'm going to be surrounded by children 24/7, especially if it's not my cup of tea? So that's kind of where the plan shifted.
Yeah. Yeah, because you kind of have to like be nice to children even if you don't like them, right?
Yeah. And also another thing that went into it was like, you do get paid for working, but a chunk of your paycheck goes towards your housing. So I wouldn't even be getting paid a lot.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good that so when do you have to make the decision if you're did you already say no?
So I haven't told them that I'm not doing it anymore, because I do kind of want to see, where they place me, just to see if it's something I could tolerate. Because right now I do have a secure job position, and then I have another one up in the air, which if I get the one that's up in the air, I'm doing that. I'm not going to Florida whatsoever. But if they place me somewhere in Florida that I might like, and I don't get the up in the air job, then I'd consider going to Florida. So, yeah.
So you've got some options.
I do, and it's kind of stressful because, I'm supposed to be finding out about everything this week. And so right now, not knowing, I'm just kind of like, will I have this job in Raleigh that I really want? Will I like where I'm placed in Florida? Like, and then the job that I do currently have that I applied for a couple weeks ago, like, I can manage it. It's not my ideal job, but it'll get me somewhere that aligns with my degree.
So that's with a sports team?
Yeah, so that's at UNC Chapel Hill.
Oh, so exciting.
That's the one I do have, and the job title is like event management assistant, but I think it's going to be very similar to what I did at Alabama, which is just kind of like watching over everyone on game days and stuff.
Love that. So that would be a perfect like introduction.
Yeah, and then I'm kind of hoping that like if I do end up at UNC, that I do well enough to continue or move up.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty confident that you would do well. I mean, I think you do well at most things that you do.
Thanks. I try.
So I was thinking about this when I was getting ready today, that I think I met you when you were first grade, second grade,
It was young
kindergarten.
because I was with Kay from as young as I can remember till 5th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long time. And it's so funny that you say that kids are not your thing, because when when I knew you like back in the day in elementary school, in a lot of ways, when I had so many kids around all the time, PTO, Girl Scout leader, kids were always at the house. I was always around kids. I love kids. But it was so funny about you because I always felt like you were on to me. Like you had like a wisdom about you that other little kids didn't have. And I could be in like a room of all these kids and they'd all be like, Miss Melissa, what knows, I bought and I look at you and I'm like, she knows I don't have it together.
You know what's funny? My mom has always told me that I should have grown up to be a therapist or something because I read people very, very well and I know how to manage emotions very well. So that's funny that you say that and that you've seen it from me being so young.
I said it to Tucker back then. I'm like, dude, she knows. Like, she knows. Like, I gotta hide even more than I do.
That's so funny. I'll never forget there was the one time I was staying over your house and you told me and Kaylin that One Direction was calling us, but it ended up being Hayden Chilcote.
That was the best. And I think you guys were like just as excited that it was him. Like,
yeah, we were so excited.
So yeah, so Jadyn is you were best friends with Kaylin, my oldest, from what all of elementary school, and in fourth grade that it happened.
Yeah.
Okay, you're there. Okay. Yeah, fourth grade. Like, do you want to say what happened? Do you want me to tell what happened?
Sure, I'll do a quick little summary because it's such a long story. So we went to a charter school, so we were getting kids from all over the place, and I lived like 30-ish minutes from the school, and my bus was 5 people in total, including me and my sister, and it wasn't even a bus, it was like a van. And so I literally have the date on my arm, March 12th, 2014, we are on the way home from school, and we got in a bus accident. I don't remember any of it. A lot of it is what people have told me because I went through a traumatic brain injury. So when the bus started, so this was in Connecticut, it was icy outside, so the bus driver fell asleep at the wheel and we slipped on ice and hit a tree. And so my head went through the window and into the tree. And so, traumatic brain injury, I passed out when the bus was slipping on the ice and lost a chunk of memory because of that. And so I was hospitalized for 8 days. And yeah, a lot of the physical injuries happened to me. The worst thing other than me physically was, I think, a fractured bone. But I do feel bad for my sister because she struggled a lot mentally with it, and she doesn't get a lot of credit, I guess is a term that we can use for what she went through. So while I know like I struggled a lot, I do feel bad for her a lot of the times because she thought I was dead. Everyone thought I was dead, but it was just hard because she watched it from the accident until, I was years later when I was getting laser surgeries to help with the scarring. So yeah, that's kind of, what happened. Took a big toll on everyone's lives, but, happy to be here.
We're so happy you're here. I mean, I'll never forget that in my whole life. Your mom, when she texted me, and she's like the least dramatic person. She always like talks me off ledges, and when she said it was really bad, it was terrible. But you, like, every milestone, every like part of the recovery, you crushed it all. Like every time there was like a question of like, will this result in this? You were killing it. Like in the hospital, out of the hospital, just every obstacle.
Yeah, I don't really, again, not much memory of like being in the hospital. I don't even remember when my memory really came back, if that makes sense. But, it was a slow progress, but fast for how bad it was. So, I had the surgery, had to like kind of reconstruct my skull. And then they thought I was going to be in the hospital until July. This had happened in March, so that was months. And then a week goes by and they were like, she's recovering really fast. So I was able to go home, luckily, thank God. They cut some of my hair because I had so much junk in it, and they spent hours getting everything out of my hair. My mom was like, just shave it off, honestly. Like, there's so much in her hair, and the nurses were like, no way, we're not going to shave this 10-year-old's hair. We're not going to shave her head. So they brushed through it. One of the things in the hospital was, they had a thing up on the mirror in the bathroom because they thought I was gonna like freak myself out seeing my face. And you know, they took the towel off the mirror and I literally was like, okay, and just went about my day. And so yeah, that was, you know, no big memories from the hospital, but then like I remember going home and I was eating a ton because they had all the tubes and stuff. So I wasn't really eating much at the hospital. I got home and I was eating like crazy. I was sleeping a lot. And then once I started healing past that kind of phase of the process, I had a tutor come to my house. We were working a lot with fractions, I think was what we were working on at the time. And then I went back to fourth grade for, I would go in after school. So after everyone left, it was Miss Lang. I miss her so much. Miss Lang would, yeah, she would talk with me for like an hour after school just to catch me up on whatever they were doing. Then I would go in for half days and then I was back to full days. And so, yeah, and then 5th grade, 6th grade, all the way up until graduating college.
What is that? What is that like for you? Like, especially entering new spaces, like new high school, college, like this is such a pivotal point in your life, but how do you feel about talking about it? Do you share it with people? Like, how does that work?
So I made a rule with myself. I told myself if people are going to approach me and ask about it in a way that I find disrespectful, I owe them nothing. I owe them no explanation. So then I would usually just tell them to go fuck themselves and walk away. Because if you're going to be rude about it, why would I be nice to you in response? Now, if someone asks me in a nice way,
Yeah.
I'll tell them, you know, the story. But I've had many encounters, more in middle and high school, when kids didn't really know better, come up to me and ask me in a not very nice way. You know, college was a lot different. A lot of the time in college, like, people wouldn't really ask until I opened up about it. And I was not treated any differently once I got to college. And like when I would tell them, like my friends, that like the story, they would always just say like, oh wow, like that's crazy, like glad you're here, like that's nuts. And then we would go on better days. So while it can seem like a very scary moment, if you surround yourself with the right people that you know won't make it a big issue, you shouldn't, like, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be so lonely in college, especially. And then I made a group of friends my freshman year and stayed friends with them until I graduated. And those were the only people I talked to in college. So, yeah.
Wow. And so you were like I don't know what you call it. You were an amazing cheerleader, and
Cheer.
that
Yeah.
process helped you, right? It helped you recover to sort of put your energy back into that, and that team rallied around you too during that process.
Yeah. So there was the whole like hashtag Team Jadyn thing, the purple, it was going around everywhere. And I was getting a lot of support from gyms around the country. Funny enough, the gym that I moved to when we moved here, they did a video about me when I was still in Connecticut. And it's just so funny because it's like the person that's now my coach was once on a team that was saying this. So it's just so funny. But, you know, seeing the support from so many people that had no idea who I was, and then seeing the really heartfelt, you know, messages I was getting from the team that I was on, I was like, wow, like I actually have people that care about me. And so going in the gym, I wasn't allowed to be in any type of photos for a good chunk of time after my accident. So, and I wasn't able to do anything. Obviously, you know, the traumatic brain injury, I can't flip myself upside down.
Yeah.
So I was in the gym for 8-9 months not doing anything, and I think that's what kind of drove me to want to go back to it so bad. As soon as I was clear to start doing it again, I was so excited because I was watching all my friends and my team and doing everything that I wish I was doing. So then, you know, when I went back, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like, I missed it so much, and I'm so glad I found something that brought me so much joy at such a young age, and that it brought me so much joy all the way through high school.
Yeah.
Because without cheerleading, oh my gosh, especially like around the COVID time, because we moved to North Carolina right before COVID happened, so I didn't get much high school experience here. So all of my friends are from cheer. So I'm very grateful for that, because if cheer wasn't in my life, I'd probably be in a way different spot now. Like mental
Yeah.
health wise, I'd be so depressed.
Yeah. Do you still do it?
No, after I stopped cheering and was like more college, I realized how badly my body needed a break. I was feeling pain in areas that like I have never experienced. Like I've always had like soreness from being active with cheer, but like after not doing it for a couple months, my back, my knees, like my shoulders, I was like, God, like I really needed a break. And now if I tried to do it again, I'd sound like a skeleton, like snapping into 8 billion pieces. Like I can't. I'm not flexible anymore. My body doesn't move in that way anymore. I can't do it.
Oh, you were always like flipping all over the place and rolling all over the place. So it was amazing.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? So when I started cheer, I was doing softball, okay? And my dad was my coach. Imagine that, okay? My dad is coaching 5-year-old me in softball, okay? And I'm doing cartwheels in the outfield. Like, I am not paying attention to a thing. And so then my dad was like, you know what? We need to get her into cheerleading and call it a day. Because I was doing flips before I even started cheering. And my dad, oh my God, it was just such a scene.
Love that. Yeah, I can't see you playing softball. Like maybe like a banana ball where you're like flipping in the outfield.
Right.
Oh my God. When you said like you didn't realize how many people cared about you. I mean, like everyone. I mean, even to this day, sometimes people still ask me, "How is Jadyn doing?" And I'm like, it's crazy. Like the outpouring of love and support, in that time. You inspired me so much. I'm gonna try not to cry. It probably won't work, but I'll try.
That's okay. If you
When
cry, I'll cry.
you were going through all of that, it was the beginning of my running journey. And so I remember like my very first 10K, you were in the hospital. And I was like, if she can fucking do what she's doing now and, learning to do all these things again and overcome these obstacles, like I can fucking run a little bit longer. I can do that too. And so you were always like purple was everything to me in the beginning of running. My tutus were purple, everything. So, I think the impact that you made in such a shitty thing that had happened, it just snowballs. It's amazing.
Yeah, that actually opens my eyes, because I didn't, like, being a kid, like, I'm not observant. Like, I have no idea I didn't have social media. Like, I didn't really know how much of an impact I did make. But, I kind of saw a little bit when I switched to the East Granby Middle School, because I had a friend at this East Granby Middle School that I cheered with. So she knew who I was through cheerleading, and so she brought all of this Team Jadyn stuff to East Granby. And so when I went in for my first day, everyone was like, oh my God, like, that's who that is. And I was like, how do you know who I am? Like, I was so confused. I was like, I've never met you before. How do you know my name? How do you know what happened to me? So as I grew older and, got social media and kind of made more sense of the world in general, I was like, wow, that while it is a very sad thing to happen, I like to think I inspired someone, at least someone out there, to fight when it
Many,
feels
many, many, many.
yeah. Yeah.
It's true. It's true. It's amazing. The whole and I mean your sister too. I like that, and I love that you mentioned that, because that is like the contrast, right? Like you were physically and of course mentally, but she was really, that anxiety and that trauma that happened was real for both of you.
Yeah. I So when I got in the accident, a couple months after, when I went to a doctor's appointment, they told me I was struggling with anxiety and depression, which I don't want to assume anything, but I feel like almost everyone on this planet has some form of anxiety or depression these days. But they said mine was worse than before the accident, and I was like, I didn't even know I had it before the accident. So, that kind of showed me that if I had it worse than before the accident, what does Jenna have? Because, when I spoke to her in the hospital, I had tubes, in my throat, and so my voice was not normal, and she literally thought I was a zombie and, like, had a panic attack and had to leave the hospital. So I'm just thinking, like, God, like, if you say my mental health is so bad, like, I feel bad. for my sister, and like it kind of carried through. We're much older now and like know how to manage our emotions a lot better than when we were children. But when she was starting high school here, she couldn't even go. Like she would park, or my mom would like drop her off and would have to come swing around and pick her up because she would be having a panic attack and throwing up because she was so scared to go into school. So like that just kind of shows that it carries on. And so yeah, I just wish she got more, I guess, out of it.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it seems to have been, you guys are so much closer now and you have each other. I love that you
100%.
both have the tattoo.
No, 100%. Before the accident, we got in like physical fights. Like we hated each other, and then it was like a slap in the face, like reality check. Like anything could happen at any moment. So after the accident, her and I have become like best friends.
Love that.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I got to go see them at her graduation party a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen Jenna. I don't think in a long, long time. It's like out walks this woman with your mom. What is happening?
Don't even get me started, because in my mind, like, she's still a kid. She doesn't have her license. She's just starting high school. No, like, she's going to college next week. Like, I need to prepare myself because she's going to be calling me saying, what do I do? What do I do? And I'm like, whoa, like, no, you're like 10 years old. Like, what do you mean? Like what? Oh.
Life is so crazy. It literally is. Like,
It really is.
and here we are on a fucking podcast together, swearing.
No, seriously. It's so funny because when you messaged me about doing this, my mom was like, oh, I've been thinking about doing it, but I just don't know, and da, da, da. And I was like, Mom, just do it. Like, who gives a shit? Like, just do it. Be a girl boss.
I know. I was like, well, it hit me the other day. I'm like, why don't I ask you? Because you can come on too. I mean, I absolutely want her to come on as well, but let's do this shit,
Jenna would want to do it because she'll tell you her college life is already so much different than mine. Like, she's going into Greek life and stuff, which I never got into, never my thing. But she's already like having to do so many things and paying so much money just to rush. I can't keep up.
But so you guys are so different, but you support each other and you're figuring it out. And I like, do you think, because I know you were so young when the accident happened, do you think it shaped how you view yourself now, or sort of give yourself more grace in sort of seeing a bigger picture versus the pressure that may be put upon you? I don't know. Like, what do you think about that?
So I won't lie, there are definitely moments where I tell myself, like, you're the ugliest person on this planet because you have scars on your face. But then, and I know that's really mean to say to yourself, I'm working on it, don't worry. But then I remind myself, like, you went through something that no one can ever compare to. Like, you're a bad bitch. Like, girl, stand up. Like, let's be so for real right now. Like,
yes,
you're a bad bitch. Like, you can pull bitches. Like, you're fine. Like, like, I literally tell myself to shut up a lot of the time. Like, shut up. Stop those negative thoughts. Like, and especially going through, like, my previous breakup, which is a whole other situation. Like, I have to remind myself that, like, there are people out there. There are good people out there. And the right person wouldn't make me feel any less because of what happened to me.
yes.
Myself. It's a lot of up here. But also, like, I have to remind myself, like, at one point they thought I was gonna die. And here I am with a bachelor's degree. So it's like, in the end, I can't really complain.
Yeah. Well, I think that a lot of people, have these moments usually when they're older, so they sort of shift how you see the world. But when it happens at such a young age and you are like, you did not know what was going to happen to you. Like, it was terrifying. It was terrifying to watch as a friend, my daughter's, my daughter's best friend, the mother of my kid, I don't know what I'm trying to say. My fucking kid watched her best friend have this happen to her. Like, I didn't know. There were no answers, right? Like, I didn't know what to even say to her. What do you say? It was terrifying. And so I know the way that I looked at the world changed, but I just wondered how that impacts you at such a young age when kids shouldn't have to fucking deal with any of that shit.
Yeah. Well, my mom has also said that I have always been, mature for my age.
And you saw, you knew.
Exactly. Like I saw, not that I like saw death, because like that's not the case, but like I saw that anything can happen at any moment. You have no idea. So instead of like if you want to book a trip to Europe, like do it, because you never know what's gonna happen. Like especially like talking like now, like sometimes I'll tell myself, oh my god, you're slower than everyone else because you don't have a job right out of college. But then it's like, what am I rushing for? I'm 22 years old. You know, I've already had like my midlife, not even midlife crisis happen when I was 10 years old. What am I stressing about? Especially too because like my parents don't, I mean, obviously they don't want me living here for my entire life, but like for right now they're not going to tell me to find a place to live. So I remind myself almost every day not to stress about what's coming and just worry about what's happening in the
Yeah, yeah. And I think, like, that's the best thing that you can do is those imaginary timelines that like society or people put on you. Just the most that you can do, just like the negative thoughts, doesn't need to be. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing half the time. I'm like, what business am I building today? What offer do I want to put out into the world? You
Yeah.
don't have to have it figured out. And I think the more that you realize that, and the earlier you realize that, the better.
Yeah.
So excited for you. This is so awesome. I'm so glad you came on. I love you forever. If you ever need to know that you're a badass bitch, I will tell you 100 times out of 100.
Thanks, Melissa.
Well, keep me posted on everything, and I want to hear all about it.
Yes, I will. If you want to, once this is done recording, I can take you to say hi to my mom.
I want to, and I want to tell her that I don't bite, and she can come on the podcast. All right, I'm gonna hang up. I love you. Thank you for coming.
I hope you liked that episode as much as I loved recording it. I adore her and her family so much. Hopefully you'll hear from all the Fagin moms at some point in this podcast. Because I simply would not be me without them. That accident really, as I tried to express without losing my entire sanity, it changed everything. It changed everything, and in terrible ways and in wonderful ways. And so anyways, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm grateful for you being here. If this reached you or spoke to you, please share it. Share it with a friend. Tag me in your stories. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Mwah. I hope you liked that episode as much as I loved recording it. I adore her and her family so much. Hopefully you'll hear from all the Fagin moms at some point in this podcast. Because I simply would not be me without them. That accident really, as I tried to express without losing my entire sanity, it changed everything. It changed everything, and in terrible ways and in wonderful ways. And so anyways, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm grateful for you being here. If this reached you or spoke to you, please share it. Share it with a friend. Tag me in your stories. Thank you for being here. I love you, and I'll see you soon. Mwah.